Welcome to this lecture. So in the previous lecture we saw how we are interacting with the client, and we see how this is message printed in our console. So now let's see how we can just make the message to be printed on the client. So basically we'll just give the command from the server to the client to execute some instructions in the client. So let's do that. So first of all, what you need to do is in this connection where we have just let's go to the main menu first, and you can see that this is the way to interact or select the connection. So after we just get the connection, let's check if this connection is none or not. So if it is not none, that means there is a connection between the server and a client. Then we'll just make one function which will send the commands. So let's make that send command method now. So let's go after this select connection before this multi-threading part, and that command was, or that function was send command function. So let's see if it was the send commands. So let's go over here again, and obviously it was send commands. So now what you need to do in the send command is you will just make a way in order to send that command to the client. So first of all, I'll just say while true, that is to give the infinite loop, that is to run this code again and again, and I'll get the choice first from the user, and that will be input. So I'll just give some format, that is first of all the new line, and now I will just say that type selection, so what you want to perform. So this will be the message to the user, and based on that we'll just do some operations. So first of all, I'll just check, okay, first of all, if that string choice that is given, that is inputted by the user, is the message. So if it is dash yum, which represents the message, so we are just making that if that is message or not. So let's first of all slice that, so that the message, or if user mistakenly type any something wrong, that will be sliced first. So let's slice this first. So what we are going to do is, from beginning we want these 3 characters, that is basically from 0 to 2 characters, and if that is yum, or that is dash yum, and length of that command, and in this will be having this string choice, obviously that is interpreted by the user, is greater than 3. Why this is needed? Because we have to also send the message, so we're checking if this is length 3 or not. So if it is only dash yum, that is not going to work. So this is going to show us something like, let me just give an example over here. So it should only accept this command, so that should be dash yum, and there should be some messages. So let me say hello, then this is only valid. If you just type only dash yum, then it is not going to be valid, because we have this end statement, and in the case of end statement both of these conditions should be true, and this is not the case because the length of this command is only 3, not greater than 3. That means we have to also pass some message with it. So let's go here, and after we just see this command, let me say something like, let me just get that message first, because we have to send that message back to the client. So in order to do that, we have to just first take this identifier. So this message will represent that if this is message or not. So we'll just send this message that is sent by the user with this msg identifier, and now I'll just get the string that is choice, and after that everything that is after this dash yum will be our message. So that is basically striping over here, so it should be something like dash yum, and hello will be our message. Then this will contain hello, so this string choice will contain only hello, because we have just removed this dash yum over here. So next thing is we have to now send this. So we have this send method, that was lambda function we created early in the lecture. So first of all, if you want to send to the client, it should be encoded, and let's encode this string message first. So str message should be this message. So now we have successfully sent the message to the client. Now let's go back to the client, and we have sent the message, and obviously now before that you can see that there is a type selection. And okay, so let's go over here, and in the Windows what we're gonna do is basically this is our backdoor.py in this client, and let's see how we are just going to implement that. So first of all, we'll just go to this while true, because this is where you have to see this command. And now we'll just check if I'll just say elif, and the data that is sent, because if you see here, this receive is going to receive the data from the server, and I'll just see that if the data that is received is basically decoded over here. And after the decoding technique, if the message sent, we'll just slice that part, and if that is MSG, okay, it is MSG. So if you see here what we just did, then you will have the idea what this MSG is about. So if you just see in this server side, I have sent the message with this MSG as identifier. So this is going to just track that if that is message or not. That is the logic over here. We're just checking if that is message, and if that is the case, then we'll just call some method over here. So we haven't created this message box, but we'll just create that, and that will get the string, and here the string will be string data, obviously the data that is sent by the user, with this -3, which is basically after the --em command. So let's make this message box now. So we'll just make this message box right after maybe server connect, right here. So let's see, and I'll just first of all define this message box, and this is the method. So this will get the message that is basically sent by the server. So we'll just get that message. Let me give the tab. Now here what you need to do is we'll just make use of that VBS in order to create the prompt box. So we'll just make use of this VBS, and here I have to first open the file. So in order to open it, we have this open, and we'll just open this temp, and basically we have to concatenate it. And now what you're gonna do is we'll just say that we want that message to be in this m.vbs. So this will be where this message, and the next thing what I want is it should be written over there, which is with this write command. So you could see here we just made a command which will create a box with the message, and now let's write that message to that box. So this will be our object of VBS, and here we can use this write method in order to write, and that will be, let me say, first will be message box, should be this message box. Sorry for typos. Do is just close this message box for now. Okay, and after that I want to just concatenate this with message that is sent by the server. And now what I want to do is the connection with, maybe let me just concatenate with this VB. Okay, I think we have something like this. Okay, only. So this is the command. Basically it is nothing to just remember. It is only the command to create some of these boxes, and we'll just pass that in the VB information. And now it's time to add it with or concatenate with the VB system model. So this is the system that is going to give us the prompt. And now next thing I want to do is basically the message. So let's see how we can do that. So next thing, okay, after this I'll just close this sentence, or maybe we can just write one more message over here, and let's close this first, and after that we'll just close this one, and this will be our message. Let's go back here. And now next thing what I want to do here is we have to close that object, which is the VBS object. So let me just close this. And now the main important thing here is to run this command. So if you want to run this command, there is shop process, which is the module that is going to do it. So we have a bunch of stops or bunch of method in the SOP process. You can see the check output, or you can see the call method, but now we are going to run the process. That means we have to use this popen method. So this is going to create us a process in order to just execute this command. So here what you're going to do is we'll just type some of these CS script, and now after this we have to now add it with temp file, and let's concatenate this with our VBS. And in this case our VBS is yum.vbs. and now let's close this first, and you should make this cell to be true because we want to run this in the cell. So let's close this now. So we have created our message box, so you can test it now. So what you need to do is simply see over here, that is we have called this message box right here. So this message box will be called. Now let's execute it. So before here you can see that I have made some changes, that this part was a string but not it was not some variable. So you can simply remove this also, but it doesn't really matter. So you can also get this source code from the resource section, and basically what happened here is we are just using this VBS message box to print our information. So you are just calling here, that is a message box with that message. Let me save this here, and let's go first to our Kali machine, which is running this listener, and this is the code that we have written before. So let me just run this. Okay, we have just tossed the backdoor, so let me just remove this again, and let's go and run this one more time. Run the backdoor, and it will keep on listening now on the port 444. Let's go back to our Windows machine. Now what you need to do is you have to first of all, okay, I just close it. So first of all I'll just close this notepad++. Let me just run this cmd. Let me just navigate to the folder, and now if I say dir, I have this backdoor.py, which is our file right here. And now I have to use this Python command, and I'll just say backdoor.py. If I hit enter, it will just now good. Let's go back to our Kali Linux, and it will say that connection has established. You can list the connection, then this is your IP address, PC name, and everything. And now if I just interact with this 0, that is this ID, and you can see we have done this from here, which is selecting this connection from here. And if I just pass this select O, then it will say type collection now, or type selection. So that was because of this menu selection. So you can see in this main menu we have told now if there is a connection. That means if connection is not none, that means we'll just execute this send command method. So let's go to the send command, and this send command has, okay, where is send command? That must be somewhere here. Okay, seriously, where is sort select commands? Select connection. Okay, it is here. Send commands will just say that it will just input the type selection, which is right here, and we can input now everything in this type selection. But we have only one command in this send command now, which you can see here, that is --yum command, which is going to give us a VBS message box. So let's see if I just type here --yum, and the message that I have to send here is any message. So let me say I want to send hey. So if I just hit enter now, if I just hit enter, and it will just give another pop out which is saying type selection, because this is a continuous loop. Let's go back to our machine, which is window machine. This is our window machine, and you could see we have this VBS box saying message. So this is the first command that we are executing. You can do multiple time. Let's go over here again, and again if I type hey, hello world, or something like this, let me just hit enter again. You'll just go back, and you can see the message yet again.